Here we go. It's over. I delete all this crap. I don't need all this. Let's go to let's put it on the 15-minute. How about that? What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Masters week, baby. Hey, who wants to fill out a Masters fantasy golf form? Who wants to do some fantasy golf? I couldn't even tell you the top 5 golfers of the year, but I'm for it. All right, market opens here in about 50 seconds. We've got red candles 49.36. We're already down from 50.38, so we're down about 100 points. That is a 100-point move right there. 100 points. Does that look like 100 points? No, but it is. That is fantastic. There is an opportunity to make an absolute crazy amount of money here if you're willing to play with proper position sizing and wait out the move. I cannot stress it enough. More fantasy betting, yeah. IV is incredibly jacked. Premiums are super jacked. I do not recommend zeros. Do not trade them unless you're going to sell options. And even then, you better have cojones the size of freaking Mount freaking Everest. I never watched Live Golf. Not sure who's winning over there. Yeah. ES is dropping 49.40. Keep an eye on the VIX. VIX popped up to 60. We didn't quite get to the 65 target that we got to last time, and it's more of a structured settlement. And or structured move, I'm sorry. It's not JG Wentworth. And now we're hovering around 49. If you have a structured settlement and you need cash now. So tired of winning. You and me both, brother. You and me both. Still dropping. 16,897. Come back over. Beautiful. I've never seen options this expensive. Yeah. Everyone said, man, I wish I could have traded the coronavirus sell-off. That would have been phenomenal. Until you see the premiums. Then you're like, I'm good. I'm going to go get some ice cream. Maybe some frozen yogurt. Maybe some gelato, gabagoo. You know what sucks about living in the South? I cannot find Spumoni ice cream anywhere. Anywhere. I bet you could find it in New York or Italy. Premiums are nuts, yeah. All right, so we have some movement back lower. Come to Brooklyn. Yeah. Swung a SPY put over the weekend. Nice, Staples. Well done, buddy. Well done. 49.27. That's South Alaska, by the way. 50.30 dropping back over here. Play according to your risk profile. 130% IV on this SPY. Yeah. Absolutely nutty. Absolutely nutty. That's a 100-point bounce on NASDAQ, and the candle is tiny. Like, it's crazy how small these candles look and how big they are. You have to be prepared to be down 100 points instantaneously if you're taking positions. Did you say the temp on Wednesday? I know the low here is going to be like 33. Yeah, it's crazy. But I think that's the last part of the last cool weather of the year so far. So, archaeologists unearthed Italian. The Gabagolithic area. That is hilarious. I'm scared. Are you recommending futures? Yes, absolutely. I do not recommend 0DT options today. I do not recommend it. They're too pricey. Look at that top wick right there, red candles. Are they going to bring this all the way down? NASDAQ liquidity on Bookmap. What do we got? Red candles down to 4,900. They're spoofing liquidity on and off. After that, it's 48.50. And they are hammering this candle lower. Hammering this candle lower. Still rolling back over. I've been short now for 3 hours. And I'm just chilling. Just chilling. Dude, shortened my prop from 2, so. SPY contracts are priced. Short at 17,100. Nice. Nice. Here's my position. One single micro that I took overnight. Nothing fancy, but there it is. SPY contractors price like SPX. Yeah, 100%. They're crazy. $49.29 ES still dropping back over. I'm gonna let that MNQ eat on the props. Once that triggers, I'm gonna close that out and lock out my prop, and then I'm gonna continue to trade in my IBKR like I've been overnight. But right now, I'm gonna expect 4,900 ES here with this move. After that, again, I don't want you to write off the possibility of gap fill overnight or new lows. I don't know which is going to happen. I don't want to sit there and tell you all bias and, not only pigeonhole myself, but pigeonhole you all. So, but right now, obviously, they are doing a lot of damage here, rolling back over. I'm going to stick to my guns of not trading until 9:45 in terms of new positions. My plan this week is to start buying long-term stocks and selling dated puts. There you go. That's a beautiful idea. My buddy called me last night. He was euphoric. Back in October, we had a conversation. I told him to transfer his entire TSP into his treasury account and take it out of the S&P. And he did exactly that. On October 18th, he transferred his TSP into the G Fund, which is treasuries. And he called me today ready to freaking do some very questionable stuff to me because I saved him about $275,000 for free. And he asked me, when do I transfer back into the C and S fund, which is the S&P? And I told him that really, do it now. I mean, anything below here is fine. You just missed out on a 24% sell-off, 23% sell-off. And he has a seven-figure account, so you can imagine. So my answer to that is anything below here, if you start buying long-term, it's the time to do it. You just missed out on 23%. Do it. The exact top. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Red candle's coming off. Here we go, baby. All right. I've got 400 points on my MNQ position on one single MNQ, and I haven't taken a additional prop trade yet. But we are coming back off 4,900, 16,754 NASDAQ. And again, do not write off the possibility of more movement. Oh, man, I haven't even opened Spot Gamma Hero Indicator. Let me go do that. I just read the founder's notes, which obviously shows high IV. The risk of a bounce coming up this week is strong. Not because I think the bottom is in, because twofold. Huge bounces happen during bear market rallies or bear market sell-offs. And two, options decay will lead to delta change-up, which will induce a big sell, a big buy. So, come on, baby. He's the only one who took my advice, too. So, I told him that. I was like, well done. 49.06. But we drop into a session, then there's a chance of another 10% drawdown. I mean, that was going to happen regardless. So, my brother called me last night for some tips on what to do. He said, dude, just keep buying. Oh, yeah. If he's 21, man, tell him to buy. Tell him to buy. I didn't touch my TSP allocation. Recommend just leaving it as is. At this point, yeah. I don't know what your age is, but at this point, yeah. You're going to be dancing with the devil down here if you start to make a lot of changes. I'd hate for you to transition to the G fund and then the market does bounce and rally. Large red still dropping back over here, 16,812. Hey, why did that do that? On my 33 years old, I'm 13% on and off for the year. Oh, yeah, you're fine. You still got 20, 25 years left. This is nothing. This is nothing. Still dropping. We are 6 minutes away from my time frame. I want to know what this closed door event. So there is rumors out there of JPOW possibly looking into a emergency rate cut. Not that it's actually going to happen. It's just rumors. But, yeah, I think it'll be an interesting conversation because if you remember back in 2008, that's when the market bounced. 2008, 2009, the market was getting crushed. Obviously, everybody knows that. But then they hiked 100 basis points emergency cut after the market had been drilled, and then we had one more sell, like for a week, and then it bounced for good, and that was it. So if that happens, I think we'll see extreme volatility, and that'll be it for the bear market thesis that I've been looking at the past couple of years. I do think we'll end up hitting a 30% though before it's all said and done. Huge red candles dropping. We are still getting smoke-a-ronied, baby. I just hit 500 points on my MNQ trade, and I'm going to, of course, roll down my stop. Fantastic. Let's keep going. ES next target is going to be, of course, pre-market lows, baby. If you haven't already, of course, I would set the opening price, the high price of the day, the current session, the overnight high, the overnight low. That's it. Post those levels. You're buying stocks like a boomer? Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Any broker recommendation to trade micros? I can only recommend IBKR. IBKR is a less shenanigan. Is the best broker. Instant fills, completely customizable, modifiable, whatever you want to call it. No shenanigans. Let's go 240. My trading view is lagging so much. 240-minute chart here. This is the 4-hour chart. Top wick, back down to 48.25, up to 50.30. This is a massive, massive, massive range on the overnight session. They just smoked that bottom wick back over. 5-minute chart is nothing but red. On days like today, when things are so volatile, be careful watching options data. It's why I'm not rushing to look at the hero right now. A lot of weird stuff happens when volatility comes out of the woodwork like this. And you're going to get taken to the woodshed if you go for weird stuff. Still dropping over. Still dropping over. If it takes out this bottom wick here, we'll look for pre-market lows. One thing at a time. Every one of my tomatoes has sprouted and germinated. I'm pretty stoked. I may have planted too many, but that's okay. I'll make some extra sauce. Tariffs will pay for the biggest tax cut in American history. Interesting. There's got to be a lot of shaking up going on. How much is needed for buying and selling futures? I'm evaluating my options. Depends, man. Some brokers are different. Sometimes, right, they're raising their margin rates on Al products right now because of the risk. Pre-COVID highs, here we come. Whew. Yeah, buddy. I tell you what, Logan, if that happens, that would be a true market correction. That would be a pure market correction to go back to valuations prior to the insane liquidity manipulation we've been seeing the past 4 years. And I would buy so much freaking stock. Like I would just kick. I wouldn't even day trade anymore. I would just kick back, smoke a stogie, even though I don't even smoke. I would say pull an Arnold, but he's a freaking soy boy. Screw that guy. 48.81. Coming down to 48.43. When you say I buy so much stock, yes, stock. I use the word stock interchangeably, ETF, whatever. I'd buy shares of SPY. And probably the top, some of the mega caps too. Still dropping back over here. Beautiful, beautiful. Rocking it, rocking it, rocking it. I just passed 525 points on my MNQ position. Once that closes out, I'm hitting the lockout feature on Top Step, and I'm focusing exclusively on my IBKR. Still rolling, still rolling. Large breathing room. At this level, are you not thinking we will have another 10%? I do think we'll have another 10%. Yeah. I do think we'll have another 10%. 16,692 rolling back over here. Here's the SR at 61. I do think we'll attack pre-market lows though at this rate. Now, I don't want to. And nothing I say today, I don't want you to write off the possibility of a face-ripping bounce, whether it be today or any time this week. You always have to prime for that because these type of moves will smoke both sides of the tape. So keep centered. It's extreme that you do VPA analysis on these moves and don't get into major biases. Thoughts on the VIX. Very important to watch the VIX this week. VIX is 54.88, climbing on back up. You have to realize the margin calls that have been occurring Friday, we talked about it Friday, that I'm not looking for buy the dip on Friday because that was the first day of the margin call day. When the VIX goes high, the hedge funds cry. That's typically when you start to see multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar margin calls because people overposition, they underprotect, the VIX rockets, they try to short the VIX because that's the first shake out of the VIX. It's very common to short VIX products. That's the first thing you see talked about. Short the VIX, short the VIX, short the VIX, short vol. Well, what happens once in a blue moon when it rockets into oblivion? You get called because you have no time to get out of the trade. It happens too fast. The VIX goes from the VIX goes from 15 to 30 in no time. And here we are getting margin called, and today is day 2 of that. So I do think there's going to be a lot of pain and pressure, whipsaw back and forth. It's going to smoke both sides of the chart. Dropping back over, 16,730. Getting smoke-a-ronied, baby. Smoke-a-ronied. Stopped out 755. I'm not stopping out until I see higher highs from my cold dead hands. I want the entire range. I want 700 points on MNQ. I want the whole range, baby. I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing. Name the movie. Fantastic. E-Trade is showing the ask $1 less and now MF size is down. This is an error. Most likely it's because of its task saturation on these brokers. You have to realize the exchanges are overburdened right now. So you're going to see a lot of wonky stuff. You're going to see a very wide bid ask, well, not wide, I should say, a very quickly fluctuating bid in the ask. It's going to go crazy. Look right there. For example, NASDAQ just bounced 140 points on one candle. Can you absorb a 140-point loss if you decide to short at the wrong time? That's the question you need to ask yourself. If not, then you need not to play or you need to go small. I think now the question is not how low we go, but which bank or hedge fund goes under first. Heck yeah, baby. Now you're making me excited. Spreads are super crazy. Yeah, they are super crazy. Go look at the bid and the ask, man. It's nuts how much they move. Especially on the simulated data that's going crazy. It's insane. It's insane. Let's hit refresh on Hero. Oh, Happy Gilmore, there you go. What do I know? What do I want to see today to give you a direction to trade? Honestly, reactionary movements at certain levels. So this is such a large aggressive price action. You don't need to catch a whole move to make great money. You can catch one candle and make fantastic money. So I'm not really worried about trying to catch, the next big move or the big the bounce or the big move lower. I mean, all you got to do is catch one move. Done. That's it. Look at this. Look at the 15-minute chart here on ES. It's just oscillating in this very large range. We're talking 200 points on NASDAQ, or on ES. On NASDAQ, we're talking about, 17.2 to 16.4. We're talking almost 1,000 points, a 1,000-point range. It's huge. So if you look at the stuff, though, I want to encourage you to look at the longer-dated charts. What do we see here on the longer-dated charts? Sell. They're hitting the sell on everything, and now they're starting to bottom like this candle, so we'll see how this closes in 11 minutes. But right now, the selling is still much more aggressive than the buying across both fronts. And we'll see what happens with this red candle here on the close. So it's very, very prudent to watch the longer time frames. I still think overall we're going down. I still think we'll touch, 45, 4,600 until otherwise stated. That's my thesis for this move. However, I told you all the thing that I'm looking for, the thing that I want to get better at, we talked about this last week, is I want to get better at the transition between trends. I want to trim that up a little bit. And if I see the selling climax, which could come today, because the buying climax, because that today's gap down with a hammer is exactly how they do buying climaxes on the daily chart. After an aggressive move, they get everyone off guard. They try to sell the crap out of it, put on some crazy bottom wick V recovery close, and then they smoke the whole book. And now it's time to go long, and everyone's terrified to go long, and then they sell it back off to retest and then bounce it again. So that shakeout is exactly how they do buying climaxes. And I want to be aware of that if that occurs. Look at this 60-point bounce on ES. Crazy. As far as what sector to sell puts in, would you suggest tech or EV? I'm between. I wouldn't do tech. I think tech is the biggest risk right now. Not only do we have the tariffs, of course, with China talks, but we also have the China-Taiwan war coming up. Unless Trump stops that, so I don't know. I wouldn't do tech. If anything, I would do a protected source. Energy most likely would be a good one to do. XLE. I don't think energy is going to go that much lower. Man, look at that gap. Boom. Europe says they're ready to negotiate tariffs with the. What the crap? 1 second. Someone's beating the crap out of the door. All right. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Yeah, FBI, yeah. They finally found me. I don't know how, but they found me. The price chart on my 10-second delayed, yeah. Have I bought any long-term stocks yet? No, I have not. No, I have not. Look at this huge move. Look at that. No, I have not. But I will be shortly if it continues this move. I mean, even if it doesn't continue this move, I'm ready to start at least putting some money back into the ETFs. All right, 49.46. Look at the retest. 49.51 here. We have 3.9 billion in puts. And I want to look at the calls here. They're selling 900 million in calls. So they've completely sold calls and bought puts on this move. 4.05 billion in whatchamacallits. Man, what a freaking move that was. Here comes the top of the hour, too. Looks like I won't be trading today. Please trade cautiously and stay alert to market. Yeah, definitely. If you are trading top step, please be careful. Please be careful. Of course. Man, what a move. 200-point bounce back up. No, 400 points bounce back up. Golly. Do you know how to get Hero to show bars, not lines? I'd have to look at it. Most likely it's just going to be in the little cog, settings cog. I didn't catch that. Did you say they're now buying more calls? No, they are. Again, I want to preface, don't get caught up in options data today because options data does weird stuff with this type of volatility. But they have bought 4.05 billion in puts and sold 900 million in calls. So they're in deep, deep negative gamma territory with calls, which is bearish, and very deep negative gamma territory with puts, which is also bearish. So it's a double whammy. Imagine people playing with options. You see $10 move on SPY in your previous. Yeah, it's the high IV. I'm telling you, don't trade zeros. Don't trade zeros. The R&R is not there. You'll thank me later. Huge bounce back up after a huge move back down. We've got 50.97, 50.48.53. NASDAQ has very little liquidity on the book. There's virtually nothing down here. It's crazy. Or it's just not proper reporting. It's probably most likely what it is. Just not a lot of reporting because there's so little on the book. But massive buy up here. You almost need to play like 15. Yeah, definitely. God, look at that freaking move, dude. What a freaking move. Already in the first 20, 30 minutes of the day, we've had a massive move down and back up. Squeeze-a-roni. Squeeze-a-roni. Golly. Iceman's gunning it. Yeah. Watch the VIX. Drop the VIX back off. 15, 30. This is a high VIX environment, though, baby. All you need is one candle. Make your day. Boom. What's up, Math? Nice, buddy. Doing a little outside fitness. Love it. $49.70. Let's see if we can get a banana going here. Although I've already had a banana in my shake, my protein shake, but let's get another one. $49.70. Still going. Oh my gosh, this guy's driving me nuts. Make sure to rub the peel on your face like that one guy. You're supposed to rub it on your face? Oh, I misread the instructions. $49.66. Did I stop out of that short? Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't get the big move. Right when I started talking about trying to catch the whole range, they stopped me out. So that's okay. That's okay. Holy NVIDIA. Look at the market, man. I mean, it's crazy. Amazon is kind of like, screw you guys. I'm going home. They're almost green. Tesla's getting roasted, of course. Google, Meta, Microsoft are all getting roasted. Not as much as you would think on a day like today. Amazon is. Heck, I mean, NASDAQ's only down 2.3% now after being down almost 7. Hang Seng's market is down 13%. I'm probably saying that wrong too, but hey, 13%. Crazy. Can you imagine if that happens to the S&P? What do you make of the bonds getting sold off too? Derivative of tariffs. Probably some economic warfare in there too. Better than you say Hyundai. Best trading reversals occur in the morning, not the afternoon. Love it. Is it just me? Is TradingView completely stopped? Not completely stopped, but it is definitely slow. Look at that bottom wick right there. Coming back up already to the high range. God, what a freaking move that is. 500 points on NASDAQ going. Wow. What an absolute squeeze monster here. Let's see if they're selling any puts on this. I don't even know what to call that at this point. Things are changing so drastically. It's called the Tank Sang. Love it. Love it. Be safe, baby. Be yourself. Watch, they're going to wipe this high. Watch this. Jeez. They are not selling any puts yet. Liquidity up to 5,100. NASDAQ, 17,350 liquidity. Data aggregation morning on my book map. You're calling for overnight low, now they're gunning for overnight high. Just that quick, man, literally. It's just insane. 15 minutes, boom. It's crazy. Little bottom wick on 48.73. They're ticking it, man. They're ticking it. Of course, a little trend line if you're into that kind of crap. They're about to put in a new overnight high. Blast-a-roni. What a freaking move this is, dude. Good gosh. Y'all wanted volatility. This is king volatility. Think they want the gap fill before move down? It's certainly possible. I heard they were talking about a Black Monday or whatever it's called, everyone that loaded shorts. Yeah. Oh, this is shakeout, man. This is shakeout. Amazon is now green. It's the lone green name on the charts. Oil is now 1.2, and they're bouncing. If I had to sell puts on any X sector, it would be oil, energy, XLE. If anyone's gonna, if anything's gonna be defended vigorously, it's gonna be energy. Didn't Kramer call for a Black Monday? He went from saying this is, I forget what he said. He's gone back and forth the past week or so, but yeah, basically he said that we're going down like another 20% or something. Yeah. Kramer's for entertainment purposes only. God, look at this freaking move. So everyone's going to be trying to shorting this move here at 50.30 on ES, and the double top at 17.273 on NASDAQ. So I bet you they smoke this level here. Oh, look at that. Boom. Look at that bottom wick right when I said it. 100 point. Oh my gosh. Sentiment, baby. All reaction. 17,400 coming up liquidity. What a freaking move. NASDAQ is only down 1.1% now. Completely undone this move in 15 minutes. What a squeeze that is. Here we go. So the people tried to sell the double top there, smoked it. Now they're only 100 points away from gap. They're 100 points away from the gap. Mind the gap. They'll fill the gap and reject it at this point. Man, you got to be freaking Johnny on the spot here with this stuff. I don't even have time to click on the stream. I need AI to read out y'all's messages. It'd be like, Dan posts a GIF of Kermit the Frog holding a cucumber. Oh my gosh. Top wick. Crazy stuff, bruh. Crazy stuff. You had to say it. Here's your morning green for you. Take this one to the limit. Oh my gosh. Y'all crack me up. Sweeping top wick right off that. Now we're having fun. Now we're having fun. Y'all crack me up, man. Y'all crack me up. Keep me young. All right, 17,360. Sweeping top wick. I managed to catch me a little scalp there and get right out. But you have to hack this baby up, man. He's taking his hymns. There you go. 17,200. 48.50 on back down. They didn't get to the gap yet. They swept the high. They knew people were going to be shorting the high. They popped it 100 points beyond it, dumped it back over here. Don't get caught up shorting more than a scalp just yet. Just yet, in my opinion. That's what I'm doing. I'm implementing extreme risk mitigation techniques today. Hack this up. Hack it up. $2.5 profit factor today. IBKR has been solid the whole weekend. I haven't had a problem with IBKR, man. They're killing it. They're killing it. They're handling this volatility fantastic. Last night when the market first opened, I had some struggles. IBKR was a little laggy. And obviously Top Step was locked up. You couldn't even trade the down move on Top Step. The initial opening candle. But after that, man, it's been great. It's been great. Oh, man. I'm having no issues with Ocean 1 securities. Nice. The board is green. I think I'm locking it up. Do it. Do it. If they hammer this candle in bottom wicket, I would go for gap fill. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but if and statements, baby. If and statements. Apparently, they put the fences back up around the White House. Got a quick sell, 10 points on the footprint. Beautiful. Where's the gap fill? Let's take a look. The gap fill is going to be 5096 on ES. For NASDAQ, it is going to be 483, 17483 for NASDAQ. Do you buy, sell, and market open on these days? New. Limits, all limits. Do I not show bookmap anymore? I do. I do. If you want to see it, yeah, I'll show you. There you go. Hold on, let me get it. Yeah, that's why. Something happened with the update that it stopped showing the chart. That's why I stopped showing it a week ago or so. So, see how it doesn't show anything? I don't know why. I have to figure it out after they did the update. Maybe that is intentional. I don't know. What do we got, homies? What do we got? Let's see something. We have a doji. We have a top wick forming on the 5-minute. We have a big old doji forming on the 30-minute. If they clear this level, play the gap fill. Play the gap fill. VIX hit 60, it did. Yeah. Consider how bad foreign markets were, not that bad. 100%. I mean, NASDAQ almost went green, and Chinese markets were down 13%. It's absurd. It's absurd. Unrelated, got my Mrs. back and ankles bones okay. Your MRI's back. I thought you said Mrs. back. Okay. Heels shattered. What'd you do? I don't know. You got hurt. What'd you do? You can make your week on some of these candles. 100%. Yeah, 100%. We just hit the top of the hour move, which is 10.10. 10.10, 220. 10 cents a minute. You got 17,281 here. Maybe Fed's going to step in and just buy everything like they did during COVID crash. I don't see that happening because the whole point here is to bring down inflation. And tariffs are long-term deflationary, not necessarily short-term, but long-term they're definitely deflationary. So that's the whole point, and that's why I think eventually it's going to force Powell to start cutting rates. That's my take. All right, coming up to 5025. Crashed a dirt bike film at 40, flying at 45. Wow, that's no good, Woot. Glad you're okay though, relatively. At least your head's okay. Top wick, move back up, 17,320. If they hold this level, gap fill. You have to realize they've already done the sweep, so they've already swept the supply here. So now they're climbing up. It's crazy how big and how fast this thing is moving. The order flow is insane. ES, new pre-market high, going along. NASDAQ is now down 0.47. They're about to go green. 17,450. Blast. That was a 200-point move on NASDAQ. Gap fill, baby. Go for it. Go for it. There it is. Gap fill. Yahtzee. NASDAQ is 15 points, 9 points away. Green. The NASDAQ is now green. The NASDAQ is now green. That is absurd. Gap fill. Gap fill. Wow. What a freaking squeeze. Wow. I don't even know what to say. They held my freaking level and rocket shipped it. It's a good time to nibble on ETFs. Wow. Gap fill achieved. ES and NASDAQ both gap filled. ES is now green. NASDAQ is now green 1.1%. They just rocket shipped this thing 500 points on one candle. That was a 500-point 5-minute candle. Do you realize how obscene that is? Do you realize how that's a 500-point 5-minute candle? Do you realize how obscene that is? That was a squeeze candle, if I've ever seen one. Wow. A 500-point 5-minute candle. Wow. 51.30, they're going for this liquidity here. At 51.37, rocket ships, massive green candle, an absolute squeeze candle. An absolute squeeze candle. 17.8 and going. Squeezing it. Going. Wow. Face ripper if I've ever seen one. The biggest green candle we've seen since the coronavirus shenanigans. Wow. 17.8, 17.9 and going. Absolute monster. The biggest candle I've ever seen. The biggest single candle I've ever seen. $52.09. NASDAQ is now up 3%. Wow. I don't even know what to say on that one. Wow. Absolute monster. Let's see here, baby. Trappy? I don't know, man. This is nutty after that move. Absolute nutty. Absolutely nutty. How big of a candle was that? Total. Insane. We went from 17,260 to 18,125. 18,125. That was almost a 1,000.5 minute candle. A 1,000.5 minute candle. Up we go, baby. Up we go. The biggest single 5 minute candle I've ever seen. ES's rocket ships going. Small position sizing, baby. And just hold on. Like, that's all you can do. Even with micros, you're talking about 2,000 point moves, $2,000 moves here. This is absolutely obscene. Absolutely obscene. $90-day pause in tariffs for all countries except China. Yeah, Trump just said he's pausing all tariffs except China. Could be 90 days. That was the biggest single 5 minute candle I've ever seen. It's insane. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Just chase it, I guess. You know, that's crazy. It's just coming. It's just going, baby. It's just going. It's just going. It is just going. We have gone from 6% down to 4% green. I told you when this thing bounced, it would be a face ripper, and it is the biggest face ripper I've ever seen. It's a 18,600. It's squeezing. They're close. The puts are we have $4 billion in puts getting just wrecked. They're offloading the books here. Absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. Wow. Unreal, dude. Well, there you go, man. There you go. $18.2, $18.12, going there. Would I short now? Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely not. Would you short now? No. I mean, it's maybe a scalp or something, but dude, they just short squeeze the entire market to the biggest move I've seen in 5 years. Yeah, I mean, this is extreme volatility. Extreme volatility. Extreme volatility. Wow. Can we play orbs today? Yeah. Absolutely obscene. There's nothing else to say, man. There's nothing else to say. It's just play the volatility. We just rejected POC. Going to the 30-minute. We just rejected, obviously we blew through the gap. What does the daily chart look like? Some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. Someone was saying something about sudden rips. That's the way it is, man. One little thing, one little drop in the bucket here, and it freaking rips. That's the way things go here. That's why you have to play very risk mitigated. Thanks, Dan. I don't think I would have made it today if I didn't know how much money you made. Or John, sorry. I'm still in awe. Yeah, it's crazy. Haven't had any problems with TV today past an eval on that rocket ship. Yeah, buddy. Nice. It's unbelievable. On Friday, guys said get ready for Trump to whipsaw. He was right, man. He was right. When that kind of face ripper happens and you identify it, it's just it's I don't want to say easy money, but the move goes so far so fast that instantaneous profits. Instantaneous. It's obscene. It's absolutely obscene. It's absolutely obscene. Freaking beautiful, man. What happened to his MNQ? You talking about the MNQ that I was up 600 points on? Do you think I would have held that more than half a candle bounce? Closed that baby an hour ago, dude. Where you been? The bids on the TQ are completely broken. I stepped away and my call's up 1,000 points for the first time ever. Yeah, buddy. This is the third time Trump's made me a bag. I don't know why people hate this stuff, man. Trump's market, 2000, the first 4 years and now this, it's the best trading conditions I've ever seen. I don't understand why anybody doesn't want this as an investor. This is volatility, man. This is what day traders live for. It's beautiful. At the same time, you get but if you're playing this like you should with risk mitigation, you shouldn't get blown out. As long as you have stops in place and you're playing the proper position sizing, even if you were short, that move still shouldn't have blew you out. You could have lost the trade, but that's how things go, man. Trump is reportedly expecting to announce a 90-day tariff. Europe offers abolishing reciprocal tariffs on industrial goods. There you go. Wow. All right, I have to meet up. Be right back. Wow. Look, there's dropping. Look, that's already 1,000 point sell off. Holy crap. Good gosh. I come back from the latrines and that's what happens? Oh my gosh. Oh, you told me short? Oh, thanks. I'll take your advice next time. If where you go long, would you want to start a position based on price action and volume around the 1010? Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've reached my max with online crap. I'm not saying this is Dusty too. This is not directed at you at all. But I'm just so tired of playing the nice card with people on the internet. Like I am not an internet person, and being in this position is sometimes very frustrating because I want to go tell people to go pound sand in a very mean way, and I can't. I can't. It would be ungodly of me to do that. It's the internet, man. Can't wait to see the option. Oh yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Wow. Latrine outhouse. There you go. How's Hero? Yeah, the slippage is crazy. Set a precedent. It's weird to see you lash out. Yeah, I'm not lashing out. I'm not lashing out. I'm trying not to at least. Um, let's see. I said, I told you this morning, don't get caught up watching the Hero. I'm not even looking at the Hero. Hero right now shows 1.2 billion in calls sold and 4 billion in puts bought, and no changes. So I'm not getting caught up in the Hero stuff. When the market's this volatile, the Hero is not the best to look at. Leave it to this market to risk move like that. Man, that was crazy. That was a 1,000 point sell off on NASDAQ and a 1,500 point buy up. You advised us more not to play options. I did, yep. 30-year yield rises. All right, 17,620. Let's see what happens from here, man. Is ES at an area of support? Let's go take a look. If I can get it to change, everything's going so slow. Golly, that was a 200. I've never seen anything like it. So the gap obviously would be the kind of the balance area. We have just undone an extraordinary amount of movement. So you have to realize support and resistances need to be very robust to kind of stop this price action. It's just incredibly volatile, and there's so much volume and so much movement that the shakeouts are real. So for me, the gap would be one after that, pre-market lows, and of course that big wick up there at 52.82 would be the top. Bonds aren't squeezing it, so the flight to safety trade is not on there. Not yet. You're exactly right. Yeah. Another top wick here, rolling back over. Again, like it's very difficult for me to try to navigate these trades for you all because things are changing so quickly. So quickly. Are futures a way to trade this kind of volume? Yes. I would not trade options. Still dropping. The problem is that we're watching price action and then some tweet destroys the move. Yeah, volatility, man. Headline charge market. Top wick red candle here. I'm attempting to short on this position. We'll see what we do with this. This is insane. This is absolutely. Could you imagine if they dump it back over and put a new low in? Like that's got to be some sort of record for the biggest range of the day. I have to go back and look. I know coronavirus put on some crazy moves, but I don't recall it ever doing stuff like this. Yeah, just trade the SPY stock. You're gonna make a lot of money doing that. Yeah, don't trade zeros. I may go ahead and lock this up, man. I think I may go ahead and lock this up. This type of move. It's fantastic when you're right, but if you're long, you're gonna get wrecked with a capital R. I think I'm gonna go ahead and shut the broker down. I think that's the smart move. I already made some money. This is getting dangerous. Wrecked. That's right. Well, I was thinking the young way to spell it. That. There you go. Yeah, I think this is dangerous. This is dangerous. It's like the market took Viagra and NyQuil at the same time. They're trying to figure out which one wins. 50-20. After this, I mean 48-50. Who knows? Yeah, they're saying the tariff is fake news. That's why this is dropping. Got my money and get bounced 45 minutes in. Nice, LeVar. Hey, thanks for supporting the community, buddy. Appreciate you. Great trades today. What if it was fake news so longs could make back some losses before heading lower? You know, James, that is the most likely outcome. Some hedge fund probably tweeted that news out or filtered that news out so they could recover positions and then get out. That was a 10% move on the index. Do you realize how aggressive, how dumb that is? The index, NASDAQ, just moved 10% in 20 minutes. Think about that. Your entire S&P returns just what happened in 10 minutes. It's absurd. That's trillions of dollars flying around, yeah. Actually, that's not true. 12 hours, it did 10%. But, yeah, it's crazy. No one at the White House is aware of a 90-day pause. Yeah, guaranteed. I guarantee that what James just said is exactly what happened. Guaranteed. Someone tweeted that out or filtered that news out or passed it along to some sort of reporting agency, recover their positions, and back off. That's the way the market works, man. We are just pawns. We're pawns. We're playing chess, except the other side of the board has all queens. You're saying there's manipulation. Yeah. Yep, I'm done, y'all. I'm done. This is dangerous. So, I am going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm shutting it down. Risk mitigation. They wouldn't do that free and open markets. Wonder if waiting until the 0D to play a 1D to gamble. Heck, man. At 1400, just put a 100-point outside the money strangle and see what happens. Even if it's true, just goes to show where the market is going and how fast all this crap settles. Yep. Yep. Now, if this market closes with this kind of a bottom wick, it doesn't sell back off, then that, I mean, from a VPA price action standpoint, that is a buying climax. And I would not look to short anything more other than some retests. Temporarily, that is. Somebody just became a millionaire. Guaranteed. Somebody just became a millionaire on that move. What's up, Adam? How you doing, buddy? Do not try to revenge trade. Yep. What's up, Dan? Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I went long from 49.61, brought it to break even. 2026 and walked away. Yeah. Yep. Wow. All right, that is double top wick on NASDAQ here. Again, I'm done trading. All brokerages are closed. I closed my top step a while ago, but my IBKR, I have locked up. I admittedly did not see that green candle coming, and I just chased it. No technical analysis. I just saw momentum and bought and chased. So whatever. Call me a noob. That's fine. And that's it. I'm done. That was the basis of my technical analysis. No idea. Just chase it. Just chase it. So, White House says they are unaware of the 90-day tariff pause being attributed to the White House advisor Hassett. And it appears Hassett, if he said that, which I doubt he did, is going to get fired. You fired. Top wicks. 50.22, not 5,000. If they give all of this out, because I already gave you the bullish thesis, if they bottom wick today's daily candle and close it, that is your buying climax to go higher. If they wipe this candle after that kind of a move, it shows you how aggressive the selling is. And then get out of the way, we're going down. People be lying about everything. Yep. Best day of the year. I'm done with myself. Nice, Mitch. That was insane, Liam. 100% was insane. Craziest move I've ever seen. Like I said, if you go back and look at the coronavirus candles, they did crazy stuff, but nothing like that. Not 1,000 points in 5 minutes and then for 1,500 points and 1,000 points back down. Crazy. Right here. Oh, heck, shit. Look at this. 3 in a row. Top wicks back over, still going. Please repeat the thesis. All right, so I don't know what to make of this. You know, obviously this is some fake news, tweet news, massive short covering. Now, I will tell you, the options chain hero indicator never gave any indication of this bull move during or before, during, or after. Still, it's nothing but bearishness, which, as I said, don't really watch that stuff on volatile stuff because it's crazy. If they continue to bottom wick this and hold the bottom wick on the daily and or close green, that will be the buying climax we're looking for, and temporarily don't look to short probably for at least a couple of days, if not the whole week, other than some retest lower. If they continue to sell and they, you know, God help us all if they take out a new low of the day, that's incredibly bearish because that tells you the massive amount of selling going on in this market still, and down we go. And I think we'll go down and that'll test at 4,500. That right there was, you have to understand what just happened. Like, do you realize that this is what you just saw is something that you should be talking about the rest of your life? Like, that right there was a 10% move on NASDAQ in 20 minutes. I say 20 minutes, let's call it 30. NASDAQ just put on almost 1,600 points in 20 minutes. 10%. Absolutely absurd. So, obviously the liquidity is rampant. If they sell off that kind of momentum, that is like a freight train that weighs, 100,000 tons rolling down the tracks, and Superman just steps in front and says, nope, and stops it, and sells it back off. I mean, the momentum is wild. That's why I was telling Joe Schmo over there, don't short this because you don't know when it's going to sell. And then, of course, it dumps it 1,000 points. And I wish I would have taken his advice. I remember when we used to sit here all day and watch 1 Point move on SPY. Yeah, tell me about it. What's his Discord? Yeah. The only time I've seen a moment like this was in the flash crash. Yeah, I mean, the flash crash was crazy too, yeah. So we're coming back down to the prior pre-market highs right now. We're dealing with it. We're actually below it now. Makes emotional moves when he makes too much money and loses sight. Is that correct? What do you mean? Do you just call me an emotional trader? I feel like this would be normal in 5 to 10 years. I don't know. Well, the reason for me, the reason why I shut my brokerage down, one, because I'm profitable, which is great. But the big thing is here is that these moves are too big to gamble on. These are too big to not know what's going on. And it's me having an account. Like, why else do I need to trade? Like, I'm already green. I've already put on that fantastic trade on Top Step. I managed to get a great trade going up to the top there. So I don't know what's going to happen. Like, this is absurd. We have tariffs. We have no tariffs. We have tweets. We have no tweets. We have counter tweets. We have big, like, a 10% move top to bottom. It's insane. So all I can do is look at the day's close. Trading view is very intermittent right now. So I had 10x at 500 at puts as 0DD looked away from when I hit my stop loss. Yeah, hey, at least you had a stop loss, man. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yep, the White House official statement is that is fake news. So this is going to come all the way back down based on that. Time for lunch, yep. My Dom was off $3. Man, this is going to be, yeah. This is now the worst 3-day performance for the S&P since October '87. That was 100% manipulation. The White House was just testing to see if they could reverse this if they wanted. Probably, yeah. My argument to that is for shutting down too early when there's still good EV trades, you're facing opportunity cost of those trades you missed, which come back to overall performance when we go to a period which aren't much. But if you're at a point where you're emotional or drawdown, I see your point, but for me, the way I apply things, and again, me personally, everyone's different, is that I try not to look at my success day to day. I try to look at my success over quarters, months, years. And as long as that equity curve continues to go up, I'm happy. And I know me. And if I continue to trade, I usually do very poorly. Whether I do bad, whether I'm profitable or unprofitable, if I continue to trade into the afternoon hours, I typically perform very poorly. So I usually try to make it a point, especially when things are going crazy. So now, if you get some sort of crazy good volume or a good indicator, then sure, trade it. Do your thing. But that's just me personally. I always find it best to engage in account preservation. I like the feeling of locking everything up when I'm green. That way, the market can't touch me. The market can't touch me. $200-point bounce on NASDAQ. Plus, I have no problems saying I have no idea what's going to happen. I have a post-it note to the right of the screen to remind me of the same thing. Beautiful. I somehow managed to just focus on the bounce. Got in with 3 VPA bounce. Beautiful. Where do you go to check these news feeds? In the Discord, I've got a bot that posts all the relevant tweets of the market. Perfect time to load up on long-term index and hold stock positions. Do you like the fundamentals too with VPA? As long as this bottom wick holds, yeah, I'd say. I mean, either way, man. From here on out, it's a great time to start adding long-term. Maybe not full partition, just kind of tranche in. Especially if you are the younger you are, the more aggressive you can be with your application into the SPY at this point. I mean, heck, we just sold off 23%. That, by its own definition, is a very major market move that should be considered. And if it drops another 20%, who cares? In a couple of years we'll get it back. So I think from here on out, it's not a terrible idea to start looking at just allocating into the S&P. $1,000 here, $500 here, whatever. Look at it this way. You can now get a share of SPY for under $500. A couple months ago it was $650. Market just gave you a discount on generational wealth. If you went into Best Buy and they had your favorite TV marked down from $650 to $400, you'd buy it. Absolute chaos. The world's economy is being dictated by a magic 8-ball. Yeah. As a 26-year-old, I'm literally putting $100 a day in multiple things. Beautiful, Tristan. White House just gave a strong message to market makers. Yep. All right, what are we doing here? The closed board meeting April 7th, regular scheduled session reviewing and determining advanced discount rates charged by the Federal Reserve. Yeah. Option millionaire croaking. Love it. Do we get rate news today? No. Kind of going back to Robert's comment there, which is a fantastic comment, that it just goes to highlight that you have to implement what works for you. What worked for me may not work for you because you're different than I am. You may see things differently, act things, manage your emotions differently than I do. So you've got to play what goes for you. If you're a very aggressive player and you like, hacking this crap up, go for it. If you don't and you like the feeling of locking in green, that too. I'm getting older in the tooth here. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I probably would have, let's sit here all day and just snort a couple of lines and see how fast I can click this mouse. But now, I like the feeling of locking in green. I get to log off here, put on some socks, sip on some warm milk, and watch Price is Right. How old am I? I am 38. 38. That sounds awful. I meant put on some thick wool socks. I was trying to highlight the fact that I'm old and old people like wearing warm socks. I grew up watching Price is Right, man. You ruined it by explaining it. Oh, sorry. There you go. price is wrong. People here are like this, and I like it. They're snail, and by the time I go, it's already done. Oh, thanks. Thanks, ST. Good call today. Socks, more milk, and prices right are all things I thought I would never be used to in the same sentence. Yeah, buddy. I thought you were like 50. You thought I was 50? No, not yet. Some days I feel 50, though. It's the pilot voice. Fountain of youth, baby. That's the gym. The gym is the fountain of youth. Muscle mass, baby. Do I think the rate cuts the next OFMC need to make can boost the market exponentially? I don't. I think we'll see a cut before that, Tristan. I think we'll see a rate cut before that. What are the current liquidity levels on Bookmap? We have 4850, 5200, a very small 250 point or 350 point range. For NASDAQ, nothing. I think there's something wrong with the data feeds for Bookmap for NASDAQ because there's absolutely nothing on the book. It's just literally useless. Nothing on there. And we keep getting an aggregate data problem. I like the feeling of sweat dropping down my forehead as my heart feels like it's going to explode. Yeah. Yeah. Take a couple of scoops of beta alanine too. All right. Looking at this, we got some green coming back up after the biggest top week I've ever seen. Coming back down there, 5087. Today's move will be very important. Today's close, very important. We are doing some brief daily maintenance. Yeah. Once the rates are cut, they're going to come out and say they're pausing tariffs and they're negotiating with other countries. Well, there's a lot going on there. And again, when you're dealing with this style of price action and market stuff, is that the whole thing here, the whole reason why everyone is here, is because of what's been happening the past 4 years. And I'm not talking about Biden's presidency. I'm talking about the economy, and I'm talking about the stock market. Everything kind of balled into one. Inflation, home prices, real estate market, everything, stock market, the whole shebang, liquidity, treasury market, and that has to come to a screeching halt for them to come to it to get the rate cuts back engaged. And inflation has kind of been staying steadily in the same direction, plus or minus. It kind of ticks up, ticks down here, back and forth. There's no real signs of runaway inflation, and there's no signs of inflation really dropping off and staying down, although it has come off. So this could kind of start leading the conversation into the emergency rate cut. But in my opinion, the economy still has some more pressure, not the stock market, the economy, before I think that is a relevant conversation. Me personally. A rate cut isn't going to fix the macro with the U.S. pissing off the trade partners. Well, I have a different view on the tariff stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. I know it's a mostly charged subject. 5,200. I heard a few different theories out there, but basically, ultimately, it's where big money can be as profitable for the most part, anyways. Yeah. Yeah. Bring it on. It's always good to hear you have to say there's a lot of mixed opinion where you say your sources are good and the good ground. Oh, yeah, well. I mean, it's just opinion, man. I don't, I don't want to get into it because I don't have a lot of stats. It's just my opinion, and it kind of tiptoes into a political discussion. I don't want to do that. So, I respect everyone's opinion, and all I'd be doing is just regurgitating my opinion. But high level view, I think ultimately we'll be fine. I think ultimately it won't be as good as what Republicans think, and it won't be as bad as Democrats think. I think ultimately everything will be fine, and prices will go down. That's my overall theme for the next 4 years. You have Houston winning? Nice, John. The only reason I know that is because I saw it today at the gym TVs, which, by the way, controversial opinion, I don't think there should be TVs in the gym. But hey, I saw it. I've got like 7.7, $5.7 thousand. Do you think I should put like 1.5 or SP because I'm scared that it won't go down and more numbers to sale? How old are you, Adam? And what's your time frame for the trade? Am I still bullish on Boeing? I'm down quite a bit over the last few days, thinking about averaging down. Curious, you think it's going lower before it comes back? I don't know about if it going lower. I think long term, I'm still bullish on Boeing. There's no reason to think not. Just right now, everything's getting shaken out. I mean, Amazon looked terrible back in the day when it crashed too, but hey, went to 3,500 pre-split. So yeah. No TV in the gym. Why? Just watch the girls instead. No, because I'm there to focus. I don't want to watch girls. I don't want to watch my phone. I don't want to watch TV. I want to watch the weight moving up and down. That's it. Did you say Ronnie Coleman changed my life? He did change my life. I saw that video when I was, for the first time when I was 14, 15. And I was like, I want to be that big one day. Mirrors, not TVs. There you go. I'm not there to be entertained. I'm there to fill out my shirt, my sleeves, and my pants. And I mean my legs, not the perverted part. Weirdos. Do I use time and sales in your level 2 analysis? Yes. Yes. Rate cuts come with high employment, I thought. Well, rate cuts, there's not a one-size-fits-all for rate cuts. They come when there's economic turmoil. And I don't necessarily mean the stock market. Stock market is just one part of the equation. Because I guarantee you, Jay Powell can sit up there and chirp like a parrot that the Fed is independent all he wants. And we all know it's bullcrap. It's all bullcrap. Because big players start losing money enough, then I guarantee you Fed's going to start cutting rates. And billionaires are losing a lot of money right now, getting smoked. Elon included. So, the stock market is just one small part of the equation. Everything else is economic. And when we do start to see higher unemployment, when we start to see inflation, all that kind of stuff, then it's time to cut rates. They don't want it because they have to. It's a balancing point between they need to constrain the market enough to bring down all these numbers, but not so much where they cause a depression. If they wait too long, we'll go into a depression. Everyone uses the term recession as it's bad. We need a recession to control all of this stuff. And tariffs are one of those things. Tariffs are going to bring down the numbers here to start reducing prices eventually. Eventually. Because if you draw down the demand, then the prices are going to come down. It's going to go up initially and then down eventually. And all this stuff is going to come into like one big package deal that Jay Powell eventually is going to cut. Nearly all of these big market turmoils happen, they culminate with an emergency rate cut. Go back and look. Go back and look at all the major economic downturns in the market, economic downturns or market downturns. They always end in the rates and the Fed's coming out and doing some sort of crazy last-minute unplanned cut. It was 100 basis points in 2008, 2009. Imagine right now, we've never even seen 100 basis points cut yet. We've seen what, 50? Didn't we do a 75? I thought we did. We might have done a 75. But he comes out of the woodwork with no planning, says, hey, we're going to emergency cut or call a press conference and cut 100 basis points. The market's going to have extreme volatility, and then that'll be it. That'll be the sign that it's time to start reapplying our liquidity. But my main argument for the fact that this was not driven through Trump's tariffs, it may have been initiated by Trump's tariffs, but the fact that we are in a very much overdue correction. That this is healthy to me. I want to see this. I do not want to see a market that goes up and 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 up every year, because that tells me like something's weird. So this is just another buying opportunity. This is buying opportunity. It's a very healthy, very much needed correction. In a couple of years, we'll be up in higher prices, all-time high, and we'll forget about this. Ooh, that's not good. Price will go back down to levels that does not affect aggregate demand. That's the uncertainty. Yeah. Markets seem overbought until a catalyst slaps it back in reality. 100%. But they're not at their 2% target. Yeah, and according to his own words, we won't get to the 2% target until 2028, which is another 3 years. $2% target, the Fed funds rate. He wants to bring it down to 2%. Right now it's 5 and change. I would think our market being green will send a huge message to other countries. Yeah, I mean, there's I think that's the big indicator that a lot of people are kind of missing. It's like there's so much negativity around this conversation that we're forgetting that who runs the show, whether you like it or not. The United States runs the show. They call the shots in the financial world. And I think that there's going to be a lot of shakeups, a lot of changes. I think we get an afternoon move one way. Heck, we just bounced. We just bounced another 130 points. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Nasdaq just bounced 600. What time was it? 11:06. All right. Yeah, I definitely think we'll get an afternoon move, Mac. Definitely. Definitely. Will you extend or do an afternoon stream if this market is volatile? Possibly. I won't commit to it, but it's possible. Capital gains tax elimination in 2025. That'd be great. Do you know what would happen if they freaking did that? Oh my gosh. Even though high volume down bottom wick is not big, do you think the buying climax, if they hold the bottom wick, this, in my opinion, from a daily candle technical definition, this will be a buying climax. But we've got to be able to do something more than a doji. Right now, this is a extremely, extremely large doji, probably the biggest doji I've ever seen. It's just, even with the volume, if there's enough selling to wick it all the way back down, then we still have more sellers than buyers. That's not a buying climax. VIX roll off would confirm. So if the VIX did roll all the way off, that would support the buying thesis, yes. But you have to remember, in bear markets, these rallies will make a fool out of everybody because you'll think that this is long-term buy, this is it, you buy, and the next day we're down 3%. So whatever you do, don't go all in one bite. So if you do want to go long for a multi-week, multi-month long play, which is not a terrible idea, stair step into it, a little bit at a time. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, and just get into it. And then if you stop out, it's not so bad. I don't mind you speculating on upside move. Just do so with the risk in mind. Always ask yourself the question, can I survive this if I'm wrong? Will I still be here tomorrow if I'm wrong? That's kind of like playing with too big a risk is like jumping out of an airplane without a parachute. You're not going to be here tomorrow if you do that. You may have fun for a little bit, but you ain't going to be here tomorrow. Unless you're Travis Pastrana. Unless you jump out at 11:59. Yeah, badumch. I got 3 different quotes on shower glass installation, and the varying prices are extraordinary. $4,000, $6,500, and $10,000 for the same exact product, same exact glass, same exact thickness for 3 showers. I never go with the cheapest bid by principle. That's why it's always, always, always prudent to get multiple quotes. I was a contracting specialist before I was a pilot, which is why I know the government's completely fraudulent. And it was part of my job description. I had to get 3 quotes for everything before I bought. 100%. You got to get 3 quotes. Have you heard what the construction acronym stands for? I haven't. Construction. 100%. 100%. Throwback reference to Travis. Heck yeah, man. First person in history to jump out of a plane without a parachute. All right, let's take what the options data looks like just for S's and G's. 2 billion sold calls. They sold the living crap out of calls all day today. This price action does not look strong. D.B. Cooper. Yeah, but he had a parachute. Didn't he? Any questions about anything before we start wrapping the day up? Or wrapping the morning up at least? What should you look for in the afternoon? I think this 50-20 area right here is very important. So this is an obvious pivot, this level. Here, this level, and then, heck, this level, which is pretty obvious, but still. So this is the pivot zone. This is multiple top wicks here. This was the opening gap. Top wick, top wick, top wick. And you see it. They just bottom wicked off of it and rocketed. If they take this out, I would play aggressively down to pre-market lows. If they continue to bottom wick and hold this level and do your thing, play to the highs. Now we're talking about an extremely, extremely large range. I mean, you can't even call it a range now. It's multiple trend days in one day. But there you have it. And besides that, just play as the price action allows. In my opinion, if I were you, I would take it easy until this afternoon. I think power hour should be pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. The whole thing I got done 2 weeks ago for 8.5 Libra charges. Nice. That's pretty nice. Beautiful. Very cool. With all the crossing between those higher levels, Should we reevaluate liquidity levels and start moving away from the range rather than relying on older levels? Yeah, yeah. Which is why I brought this into the mix, this right here, because these are a little bit newer levels here. Let's go to the longer time frame. You'll see how the volume profile fluctuates. You'll start to get a more purist picture. Uh-oh. We just had a big room down. We have another tweet. What's going on here? No. Okay. Man, ES just dumped. So look at the liquidity levels. All this right here off this volume profile tells us that we're selling into the strength here. We're not buying into this weakness. We're selling into strength. So look at that. Massive red. NASDAQ just dumped over like 500 points. Gah. Wow. Something's going on. Massive move. Massive move. Wow. If you have time, turn day of the week, could you post some of the key levels that are not just for tier 2? Well, I'm trying to do that right now, Kyle. These are levels that, in the realm of what just occurred, 10% moves, these are very, very large levels. Trump is threatening China, 50% tariffs. Man, this is like riding a bucking bull, dude. Trump threatens an additional 30% on China, and ES just dumped 200 points on that. Like, these are phenomenally large moves. It's a lot of fun even spectating. It is. It's crazy. Trump Truth Social. I need to get a Truth Social account just to freaking monitor this stuff. I've never downloaded it. I asked back in November if he thought a recession's on the horizon. You said, do you think we're already in one? Nice call. Yeah, 100%. I think we're in one. I mean, heck, I'm in this rental property now, and I'm in one of those cookie-cutter massive neighborhoods that's like 2,000 homes. And, like, I could literally, like, flick a booger and hit the side of my neighbor's house. And there's for sale signs going up all over the place. It's crazy. Did I say the F word? No. Of course not. I don't think I've ever dropped the F-bomb on stream. I need your, I know I've asked this before, but I need your best recommendations for a bidet. I'm a typical American. I have no idea what to even look for with a bidet. With me, I'll just get a fire hose and start spraying stuff. But, yeah, I'm putting one in. Yeah. I forgot what brand we bought. We got a super nice one, heated and comes with a remote. Nice. Yeah, I plumbed it for a bidet, and I put in plugs for it, so I got electric and everything. ES is moving 30 seconds a point. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, heck, we just dropped over NASDAQ, or ES has put on a 130-point move, and like we're not even talking about it. It's like 130 points. I promise you all, man, like I told the dude on YouTube, don't look for any kind of major bullishness on tech. Like, tech is not this right now. That's not the golden child it once was the past 4 years, because this stuff with China, and you have to realize, we're still talking about, the thing on the back burner is still China-Taiwan. That's still going to happen. So this could be a little bit of economic warfare on Trump's part too, from that realm. So there's still going to be a lot of pressure going on with the mega caps. If I'm selling puts, it's going to be energy. Today was the biggest point trade ever. Yeah. It's crazy. Oh my God. I wanted a bidet that's got a voice control from Kermit's voice. I got some water for you. Oh my gosh. Too far. Too far. Too far. I can't imagine volatility. Europeans were reciprocal. Glad they're more diplomatic. Yeah. China can undercut all industries. They couldn't do a one-to-one copy because laws. Yeah. I never watch anime. How many accounts can you trade on MFF? No idea. American ice football? Is that a thing? That's American ice football. I've never heard of that before. Jeez Louise. All right. So you see, we're still sticking to this level. I would mark it, and I don't really want to give you a level. I want to give you more of a range. Right here. UPS taking a beating. Yeah. Oddly enough, there was a article I read one time. UPS, FedEx. You could pretty much plan a recession by monitoring those two names. When the shipping, especially in today's online consumer society, you could plan the downturn based on those two names. If China does not withdraw its 34% increase above already long-term trading by tomorrow, the United States will impose an additional 50% tariff effective April 9th. China threw down the gauntlet, and Trump responded with vigor. Trump is a freaking criminal crashing the... Come on, you don't believe that. I understand not liking Trump, but come on. Come on. Also for men's underwear sales. Really? I don't buy underwear very often. I buy like one 20-pack like every I don't know, 6 months or so. And the thing is, I burn through my boxers because Mrs. OM washes laundry so quickly. Like by the time, like every day, I'll go in there and it's like the pair of boxers I wore yesterday are fresh and clean on top. So I just rotate the same one. Like, you got to stop washing clothes so often. I mean, technically, he's a criminal. True. Was a Taco Bell. Man, I haven't had Taco Bell in so long. Got a handheld bidet from Amazon. There you go. Call that a garden hose. Yeah, that's the Appalachian bidet right there. They were fine for years. Heck yeah, Callie. See, I couldn't do that, Sir Whiffington, because I would use that as a water faucet, not a bidet. I love Taco Bell Baja Blast. It's fantastic. Stop washing your underwear. Problem solved. There you go. Kind of gross, but yeah, accurate. God bless. What's up, Bandit? Hope you had a good day, buddy. Still top wicking. This looks like if this absorbs this 49.80 realm, I got to play another 200 points down, baby. Oh my gosh. I wonder what would happen if Trump announced the additional 50% tariff instead of Sunday night instead of meow. Limit down. White Monsters got me through officer school, dude. I have a Pittsburgh toilet in my basement. It's where they call a toilet in the basement where there's nothing else, no sink, no shower, just toilet. Came with the house. It's for emergencies. Yeah, or kind of like a Buffalo Bills type of scenario. Gets the lotion on the skin. If you ever become a kidnapper, though, you got it set up. You could at least be provide anemones for the people you kidnap. There's a toilet down there. Don't worry. Red candles. If they take this out, man, you see this baseline? Bottom here. You see them defending it vigorously. $7-gallon flush. Jeez. All right. Wrapping it up. I got my licks in, man. Very, very good day. Very incredibly volatile day. Some of obviously the craziest day we've seen, at least since coronavirus. I'll have to go back and check my charts to see if you've had these kind of crazy intraday moves, because that was. I know we've had big bounces and big sell-offs in the same day in coronavirus, but I don't recall if it happened in 5 minutes. Like that 5-minute candle was insane. I'll have to go back and look just for entertainment purposes, but that was obscene. Kramer bottom is in. Looking at the liquidity book map, we have a whole bunch at 48.50, 47.50. 47.50, I think, would effectively give everyone the old whipsaw and be like, WTF, Mike. I mean, that'd be a 500-point day on ES. 500 points on ES, which is 10%. So I think we'd limit down if we hit that. Any questions before we wrap it up? Nearly a second 500-point move. It's crazy. 5 hours at me sales. Someone got that. Love it, Proggy. Love it. Hey, welcome back, though, buddy. Welcome back. IV is still too high. Yeah. If you're going to play zeros, sling $100 on outside the money contract in power hour. It's going to be aggressive. Would you swing something overnight? No, I'm doing just fine with this volatility without swinging. I'm good to go. Yeah, definitely. What's the time to buy some calls in the future? Like 2 months. When I see the buying climax, ST, if today finishes with an aggressive hammer candle, it may be today. If they sell it back off, then back to the drawing boards, baby. I have to play what the market says. Otherwise, it's just hopium at that point. And my YouTube is slow as F. What we got? Top wick still. On Top Step, do you have it set to points or dollar amounts? Points. I have points. I don't want to see my dollar amounts while I'm trading. Even the points is not bueno, but... Here we go, 49.90. Let's see how this baby rolls. Let's see how it rolls. $49.95. Just one observation. After 15 minutes of market, the orb direction is that you played 30 minutes or so. Be awarded handsomely. There you go. Nice. Wonder how many margin calls today? Blowing up everybody left and right. I bet you we're about to see another 90% Apex sale. On Top Step, oh, you already answered that one. There you go. Yeah. Hopefully I answer everybody's questions. Yeah, buddy. $51.5. Looks good news on tariffs from EU. What are they doing? Still right side the 5,000 mark. Oh, man. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. What about the protests in Boston? Yeah, crazy. Officially calling it broker shutdown. Yeah, mine too, buddy. That's a smart move. I was reading an article. Sorry about that. China responds by selling another 50 billion in TSY. Yep. So that's the one thing that could trip us up on the TLT long trade is economic warfare. They start dumping United States treasuries, which is definitely a possibility. You see them still defending this orange range here? See this? That's what they're doing. I can't read my YouTube comments. Apologize. There's something going on with YouTube. But yeah. Can't do zeros on Fidelity anymore? Really? If that's the case, I would try a new broker. Do not let anyone not trade what you want, even if zeros are terrible. They were all over the country this weekend, lots of cities. Yeah. Oh, man. All right, y'all. I'm out. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Of course, I will do some analysis this weekend. We might even do another evening stream. We'll see. Maybe. Can't promise anything. 5-10 minutes we'll jump on and take a look at some charts here because this is extraordinary movement, and this is a very important day. So, any other questions, please ping me. Hit me up in the chat. I prefer you don't DM unless you absolutely have to because I've got a ton of DMs. So ping in the chat and I'll get to it. Other than that, man, I will see you all bright and early tomorrow morning and possibly tonight. I'm out. See you.